Welcome to Business Blurb You and the Dropouts podcast. My name is Brendan Cox, and I'm here with my co-host Devin Caherly.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
If it's your first time tuning in, we cover unique yet successful entrepreneurs every single week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Today we have a very special guest, Michaela Murphy. She's a dancer and social media influencer with nearly 9 million followers across all her platforms. Welcome, Michaela. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So let's jump right into social media and being an influencer. So how did you get started with all of this?
So I actually started dancing at the age of 3, and I've just pretty much trained my whole entire life. About my freshman year of college, I did a video where I was dancing in public. And at the time, I didn't really have TikTok or anything. I had just recently downloaded it. And I posted a couple videos prior, a couple with my grandpa, and they did decent. I think I amassed around like 10K by that point. And I was getting really excited because 10K was a huge number for somebody starting off. So I posted a video of me dancing in public with my college, and that was my first like insanely viral video. It had like 600,000 likes, a couple million views, and that's when I gained like my first 100,000 followers. And I remember I was running around my house. I was like, Mom, I'm like going to be famous. This is amazing. This is what I've been dreaming of since I was a kid. I remember telling people when I was like 5, I was like, I'm going to be famous one day. And like, I felt like it was really happening. So once I saw the numbers and stuff really, starting to come, I started posting every single day, and I started taking it really seriously. And then I hit my first million actually a year ago today. It just came up on my time hop.
Wow.
That's cool. So you said that was like a super viral. Is that your most viral video still to this day, or do you have something that topped that?
I actually have a couple that top that. I have one video, and it's sitting at like 50 million views right now.
Holy, what's that?
I'm trying to think. It popped up on my what's it called? You know that app where they were like scoring like the top creators?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. It was like that one. And I had like a WAP video that's at 20 million. Yeah, retro play, that's what it's called. I had a twerk video that was at 40 million. And I'm trying to think what the one at 50 million was. I think it was just a dance mashup.
That's cool. Impressive.
Yeah.
It was insane.
So this wasn't like a mistake, right? You kind of always had the mindset that you wanted to be an influencer.
Yes, always. Ever since I was a kid.
That's cool. I think it's cool too because like, I don't know. I feel like I remember my neighbors are like both like, or they were big dancers, not like big dancers, but they they did the dance school thing. And I always remember like asking them like, is there any way to like make a career out of dancing? And like at that time, this was like 5 years ago or whatever. And at that time there was like none. There wasn't really like a way to like make an actual living off of dancing, but like TikTok completely changed that, and it's like
it
the
really
complete
did.
Opposite, which is so
really
cool.
did. And I'm so grateful for it because it's always been my dream to move to California, and I just recently did that. So I know times are kind of different now because of COVID. So dance jobs are obviously like very minimal right now. But after seeing the difference between going into the dance industry as strictly a dancer and then seeing the difference between that and being a social media influencer / dancer, I'm just so grateful that I got involved with the social media route because it really is insanely hard to find jobs as a dancer. I was offered a couple jobs like to be in Roddy Ricch's music video, Saweetie's music video, the Babies, and they were all only offering like $150, $200 for 2-3 day long shoots. And I'm talking like there for like 8 to 12 hours a day. And you got to think for dancers that aren't influencers, that could be like the only job they're getting a month. Living in California alone, it's like a couple thousand for rent. And you're talking only $150 to live off of that. So all these dancers have to go out and like get side jobs too. And I'm like, wow, social media really changed my whole entire path.
Yeah. And also like, I know there's people like big artists that are like, yeah, you could come in my music video, but I'm not going to pay you. You're just getting like, you can add it to your resume. That's all.
They just like devalue dancers because they know if they offer like one person something and they're like, no, that's like, I'm worth more. They know that another person that has no resume yet's going to say yes. And that's the thing that sucks. Because like people like myself, I've trained in dance for over 18 years now. And you mean to tell me you're not going to pay me just because you're a big name? Like I'm a professional.
And they're making $5 million off the music video. Like a couple grand doesn't hurt them.
I have a friend that was like the center of, I'm not going to like say any names or anything, but she was like the main point of a certain music video. The video has over 300 million views.
Wow.
And she only got $200 for it.
Oh my God.
But you can only imagine how much they profited off the video. It's insane. It's so disrespectful.
It is. Really. And I don't know, like, I guess it makes sense in a way. It's disrespectful, but like if they can get somebody for cheap, it's like, it kind of sucks, but yeah.
But that's when, like, I wish everyone as a whole could come together and, like, understand their value and worth. And it took me a while, too, like, even just in the TikTok industry. I remember I would do promos for so cheap, and then I met the roommates that I'm with that, you know, were, like, OGs on Vine, and they've been in the game for a while. And they're like, Michaela, you're being stupid, and you're kind of ruining it for the people like us, because if brands see you doing it for dirt cheap, then they're not going to give us what we're worth. And it just clicked in that moment. And I think it's just the fact that so many dancers, entertainers, influencers, singers, actors, I'm sure it's the same across the board, they're just not educated on what they should be getting paid, or they just settle for less, which is really bad. Because also another point one of my roomies said to me is, he's like, you have commercials and you have people paying like thousands upon thousands to have their ad, you know, advertised on TV. What's different with TikTok? If not, it's like, it's actually better to have us promote on TikTok because everybody's on their phones. So like the quality that we're able to provide in our services, it's almost better because our content is seen by millions, just like a TV ad. So there's really no difference there. So we should be getting compensated the same way.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Recently, you said you moved to Cali. Are you living with like other TikTokers or dancers, or are you just like going solo?
Yeah, I'm living with a couple influencers.
That's
Any
awesome.
names?
Sorry, say that again.
Any names?
Yeah, I've been living with Peaks. He was big on Vine. Chaz Laughlin, he's a part of like the Darman videos, which is huge on Facebook and YouTube. They're all the motivational stuff. I live with Dominic. He's the science guy, and his girlfriend Mary, and then my boyfriend Ulysses.
Wasn't he trying to like create a house, like the lab?
Yeah, we're part of the lab content house. We're still building up a lot of stuff with it. We just recently launched like our face reveals, but we haven't really gotten into what we're actually supposed to be doing yet, because there's a lot of stuff that, you know, we have to do behind the scenes.
If you can talk about it, like, can you tell us more about the lab? Because even I checked that on TikTok, and I was just like confused. I'm like, is this like an actual thing? Or are they just like messing around?
Yeah. So the lab is actually meant to be an educational house. So everybody that's on there, we all have like different things that we teach. For example, I'm going to be doing like dance tutorials, stretching tutorials, stuff like that. We have a fitness girl. We have a science guy. We have like a historian person. We have life hacks, just anything you can really think of, we're going to be teaching on there. And then, as well as like being an educational house, we're also an agency. So we have Dominic, and he manages a lot of people, and he brings in like brand deals for the house. And then I can't really talk too deeply about this, but we're all actually about to be a part of a big series. We have recently collabed with another YouTube platform. I actually just filmed with them a couple days ago, and it's going to be super awesome. So everyone should stay tuned for that.
That's exciting.
Cool. Will you like post something about that on Instagram if the viewers want to check it out?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So you got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's super crazy over here.
With like all this is obviously business blurb, like entrepreneurial media company. Would you consider yourself an entrepreneur, like the way you bring in these the way you operate?
Most definitely. I actually just created like my brand. I turned it into an LLC. So I'm technically like a CEO of Michaela Dancer LLC. And then all this stuff that I have to do, like I really like, you know, I do have managers and people that bring me promotions here and there, but I also have to do a lot of the reaching out and figuring out what exactly I want to do. So I definitely would consider myself that.
Did I hear managers? Plural?
I don't have like an exclusive manager. I'm really afraid of like committing to one in specific because I've just heard a lot of like horror stories behind that. So I work with a lot of managers that bring me deals, but non-exclusively.
Yeah, I remember I even told you I'd try to like pitch you a couple different times.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, but Devin's locked in with me.
Yeah,
that's why he's here right now. I got like him chained up.
That's funny. See, it's just like with me too. I'm not only an influencer. I dance, I sing, I model, I act very like little. I'm a small little actress. So it's really hard for me to like pick one manager because I haven't met anybody that can help me with all of those things. But then even though they can only provide me one type of resource, they still expect me to like be totally exclusive with them. And I'm like, that doesn't really work because I do so much stuff.
Yeah, that
So
especially for you, if you like, you need somebody for like
Everything.
everything. But I
yeah.
don't know, I get in some ways where they're like, I think it goes both ways because I know I've been screwed over as a manager by influencers, and then like it
Mm-hmm.
goes both ways. So I think everybody's like trying to protect themselves by doing this
Yeah.
like exclusive thing, but it just doesn't really work out for the most
I
part.
agree. I agree.
But
I
there's
definitely
also,
agree.
what were you gonna say, Devin?
I feel like you're doing like everything. Do you see yourself like still dancing in the next like 5 years or 10, or like do you?
I actually see myself being a choreographer. I have really, really bad anxiety, and with that comes horrible performance anxiety. So when it comes to like dancing in front of people, I've always just been terrified of it. And the thing is, like, I've danced in front of like a lot of people. I backup danced for Jordan Sparks before. I've danced for like the NFL halftime shows and stuff like that. But I've always hated it because it freaks me out. So now that I have the platform that I do, I'm becoming pretty well known. So I'll be able to like travel and have people just like have me come out to teach and choreograph. So I think I'm going to be more like the behind the scenes person opposed to actually like doing the stuff in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because like you have like what, a couple billion views in 2021, but in real life, which I get because like it's so different like when you're standing on an NFL field and performing, and then
Yeah.
you're behind like a phone. So that's interesting.
It's also different too behind the phone because you can take as many takes as you want. And I'm an extreme perfectionist. So like I know if I mess up in my own home, I'm the only one that knows. Opposed to if I mess up in front of a million people on a football field, I'm like, shoot, everyone just saw that. And I
That's
think that's
true.
what freaks me out. Like I hate pressure. So that just isn't my thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. How, like, for your TikToks, how long does it usually take you to shoot a TikTok with it? Like, is it a bunch of takes, or is it usually like the first or second take?
It honestly depends on the day and what exactly is asked of me. Like, for example, yesterday I was sent 3 dances to do, and it literally took me 5 minutes to do all of them. But some days when I'm just like chaotic and my mental health isn't like super strong and I'm just like super forgetful, it can take me up to like an hour just to figure out one. And it also depends, like, some days I'm way more hard on myself than others. Like yesterday, I was like, you know what, this is awesome. But other days, I'm like, Michaela, get it together. This is terrible. So it really just depends.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no.
What are some like cons about being a huge public figure on social media
I think
that you
the
think?
cons are just like people forget that we're real people and they just say whatever they want to say. And I don't think they understand that, like, you can compliment me 100 times, but that one mean comment will always stick in your head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a con because everything I do is judged. And it's like we're all humans, so we all make mistakes. And it's just like terrifying to think that one day I could make a mistake and like all this cancel culture and stuff like that. It freaks me out a little bit.
No, it
So
definitely does for
it's
me
definitely
too.
the hate. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely like the hate and stuff. And you know, like some days I'm just like, whatever. I've noticed that a lot of them just like copy and paste or they just say things because they don't think I'll see it. But I see almost every single comment. I see everyone's DMs.
Do you react to them ever?
Sometimes I do. There's actually this one younger guy. He has always been like in my DMs and he's always been so mean to me. And one day I was like, you know what? I feel like he just doesn't know I see this stuff. So I responded to him and this kid freaked out. I want to say he's like junior, senior in high school. So he's not like young. He's like,
Like
median age.
17.
Yeah, he was freaking out. And ever since then, like, he's been so nice to me. He like slides up on my stuff all the time, hyping me up. He like wants to be my friend. And I'm like, it's just really interesting to see. And it like openly admitted to me, he goes, I was really angry with myself and I hate where I am in life, so I took it out on you. And it's just like when people say your haters hate on you because they wish they're like where you are, like it's honestly true. It really is. Like he openly
No,
admitted it.
So with all this like fame, like I want to say you're one of the most followed people on TikTok. I don't know like the actual numbers, but if you have like 8 million followers, you have to be in like what, the top 100?
I honestly don't even know, but it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. What do your like parents think of all this?
My parents are like the most supportive people in the world, and all my grandparents. I actually have like a ginormous, amazing, loving family, and they're all just so proud of me. And actually, my parents are currently trying to get on TikTok now too. They always make like these little videos, and they're like, "We're gonna be there too," and I'm like, "Okay."
My mom watches TikTok, but she doesn't make them, thank God.
Did your parents
Go
like
ahead.
were confused at first, like when you started like TikTok or social media? Or
No, not really. I've always like talked about it, and like being in the dance world, it's just stuff like this. It's all pretty much the same.
gotcha.
I've been on Instagram since I was like 12. So my mom's always been like hip to it. My dad on the other end, he's just like, "Oh, that's cool."
That's funny.
So with like TikTok, you're obviously huge, and I feel like you're also pretty brand friendly, just because, or not necessarily brand friendly, but you're easy to like work with, especially because like the dancing thing. Like I know like Ariana Grande has reposted you, and like you've been behind a lot of like viral dances. So you probably have a tons of like musicians and like artists like in your DMs, or reaching out to your managers
Yeah.
to try to get you to do dances with their songs, right?
Yeah, that's actually like most of my business. I don't necessarily get as many brand deals as most people do because I'm so like jammed with music promos. And I love doing that because I just get to dance and like make money in my career off of that.
Yeah, and it's like nobody knows their ads either.
Yeah.
But you're sponsored by Bang too, right?
Yeah. I work with Bang, I work with Fashion Nova. Um, those are like my consistent ones. I have a couple like small ones here and there that'll come in, and then any brands that are like willing to send me stuff if I really like their product, like I'll just promote it like on my story and stuff like that.
What's your favorite brand you ever worked with?
I think like that's a good one. I feel like I love Fashion Nova just because I love the clothes. They give me a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is they pay you on top of the clothes, if you're allowed to talk about that, or is it just free stuff?
It depends on the deal. Like I was doing some compensated work with them through TikTok, but now I'm like building my YouTube. So I told them I'd be willing to do like YouTube videos for them because like their rates on TikTok I wasn't really too like happy with. So I was like, you know what? Let's transfer this to a different platform where we will both feel like we're benefiting. So that's the other thing too with brands. Like sometimes you just have to be willing to walk away. And that's something that I've definitely learned because if they really want to work with you, they'll do like what you're asking for of them.
Yeah, you gotta know your worth.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard too sometimes, like to watch a brand that you do like kind of walk away from you and you're like, dang, I wish I would have just said it. But then normally like they will come back and they're like, you know what? Hey, let's do this.
Yeah, but also there's like those brands that like have no, I don't know if they're lowballing on purpose, but a lot of them, maybe not a lot, but there's definitely brands that have no concept of like how much you're supposed to pay for a TikTok.
Oh, for sure. Same goes for like music promos. I actually just dealt with this guy. He was in my DMs asking me to do music promos for him. And he was charging me like, he was asking to pay me what I was charging back when I had like 1 million. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. That's like, it's just kind of like rude to me because it's really devaluing me. And I have other people that are willing to pay me my worth. And he just kept going back and forth with me. He's like, well, I have other influencers that take this rate. Why won't you? And I literally said to him, I was like, can you give me their ads? Because if they're willing to do it for so cheap, I'd love for them to promote me too.
Yeah, no, literally. Sometimes I hate when they compare you too, because no influencer's
Yeah.
the same. Like it's just like you compared to, it doesn't, even if you have 8 million followers and somebody else does, like they could be, their account could be dead. They could have you can't compare two influencers. Everybody's different, and
Everyone
everybody's
is different. And everyone has
like,
different things to offer too. Like some talents like just take more time to do, so they should be compensated more.
yeah, no, 100%. But also like there's some people who had one viral video and they have 3 million followers, and then there's like somebody like Devin who has been building his personal brand and like has been like recognized a lot more. Like he just has a solid personal brand.
Yes.
So it's really like it doesn't matter if, like, I'll pitch people who have 3 million followers for half of what I pitched Devin for, and he
yeah,
also has
because
3
you know,
million
like
followers.
he's not lucky. Like all of his content is good and it will perform well.
Yeah.
Like he's built himself up to like be able to be worth that much.
Yeah, I feel like you did one, especially you actually took a time, like you actually build a personal brand rather than like other influencers. What would you say to like newer people starting out TikTok or social media to like build a real like strong personal brand?
I would honestly say to just like do what you want to do. Don't do what everyone else expects you to do. Like I only post content that I enjoy doing and that I like doing. And even though you might see yourself growing slower, at least you're authentic.
Yeah.
And then eventually it will pop off. Like I said, I've been dancing since I was 18 years. And it took me until like the last 2 years to finally see my results paying off. So it takes a lot of hard work. Nothing's easy.
No, yeah.
Yeah. You've like, so with all this, like, what was it? Ariana Grande, who else? I feel like you have like a highlight that I looked at or something.
Oh, Cardi B's reposted me, the Jonas Brothers. There's been a lot of people actually.
Yeah, everybody. So
if
like,
I
what's
swipe
like
out of this app, can I go to my highlights or will it stop recording?
Go try it, see if it works.
I think you'll be good.
Okay, yeah, sweet, we're good.
But yeah, just like I just want to hear about more of like these influencers because those are like A-list celebrities. They're not like no joke people.
So I was actually in Big Sean's music video 2 years ago, and he like posted that all over his Instagram. My face was like up in Times Square. I was noticed by Neo, Derek Hoff, Jonas Brothers, Trap Beckham, Charlie Puth, Sway Lee, Megan Trainor, Justina Valentine.
That's pretty crazy.
Dream Doll. There's been a lot of people. I'm just
is there any that you like stay in touch with, or was it just like they reposted you and you were like, oh, this is awesome? Or have you like been in touch with any of those people?
Me and Justina actually talk really frequently. I love her to death. Like I actually look up to her and admire her so much because I'm known for like body positivity and just like being a confident woman, and I feel like that's exactly how she is. And I just see a lot of myself in her. And like I said, we talk a lot. And once like all the COVID stuff hopefully passes soon, I'm planning on going and like actually hanging out with her and collabing and stuff. Iggy has noticed me a lot. And then I actually got to collab with her a little bit ago, and we follow each other on TikTok. So that's really dope. She's posted me a couple times.
Who would you say who is like the craziest collab you've done so far?
Probably Iggy. That was insane to me. Because, you know, like we collab with fellow TikTokers all the time, but when like real life celebrities get brought into it, it's kind of like, whoa, I cannot believe it. And the coolest part about it is like, it was so chill. Like nobody was like fangirling over each other. Like I was hanging out with Iggy, but Iggy was hanging out with me. Like it was insane. And
wait, was this when you and Devin were at that like
yeah. And she was so humble too. Like I was not expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. I thought she was gonna be kind of mean because in this industry, most of the people I've met have been pretty mean. A lot of the influencers and stuff.
Ooh,
and the fact
let's get into that a little.
No, yeah.
It's just the fact that she's a real life celebrity and was still humble. It really proves that like these people have no reason to be the way they are.
Yeah, I was shocked when she like came in. It was just like a normal like person. Yeah. I was just like, wow, she's like super chill. It's super cool experience, honestly.
I remember Devin telling me that like Iggy is gonna pull up, and I'm like, yeah, no, she's not. And then he posted a picture with her. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was so cool.
But yeah, going into like you said, a lot of people have been like mean and nasty. Like, what's like? I mean, you obviously don't have to say any names if you want to, but have you had any like really bad experiences?
I honestly have had some horrible experiences. I feel like with me, I just have a very mature mindset. I'm not really the party animal. I just like to go about my business and get stuff done. And like, I'm not going to go into like any crazy details or name any names, but even the Airbnb that we were at, I remember I went out to eat with the people that I actually live with now, and I came back to my room. There were like over 50 people at the Airbnb. We're in a pandemic. They were eating food that like we specifically had catered in. Everyone there had to pay like almost $2,000 to be there. So like they're eating our food that we were like paying for, but none of them had to pay to get in at all. I remember I came in, walked into my room. There's blood on my floor, alcohol cans everywhere. Mind you, I don't drink or any of that. my stuff was like thrown everywhere. I'm a neat freak, so I know I did not leave my room a mess. I had like toilet paper everywhere. There were people from like certain content houses in my room crying because they're sad drunks, and I'm like, whoa, this is insane. There were like big name people in there just openly drinking and like smoking a blunt, and I'm like, you guys are minors, first of all. Like, you're not 21. Second of all, like, you guys are the top influencers and you're presenting yourself in this way. Like, I automatically know at least 20 people I never would want to work with again. And it's just like, they're unprofessional. You try to reach out to them and it's like they're like kids our age, like what, 16 through 25. And it's like they finally are like working, they have a career, they have a platform, they're making money they never knew they would make, and they just don't know how to act.
Yeah, I feel like that's with a lot of them, especially like when you look up to these people and then you meet them in person for the first time. It could be like interesting. That experience was a little weird also. Like I know
it was horrible. That was like one of the worst experiences I've ever had. And then like the aftermath, like nobody really reached out. Nobody wanted to apologize. Like I had like ring lights and stuff broken. I'm like, you guys are kind of animals. What the heck? They're literally giving minors alcohol. And we're supposed to be influencers that people look up to. And don't get me wrong, like we all have to learn. We should be able to do stuff in private. But the thing is, they weren't. This is a party in a pandemic. And I literally grabbed my stuff and I left. I was like, this is awful. I remember one of my first experiences with a really big top influencer. My first impression of him is he walks in, he goes, hey guys, I just got a new matching Louis duffel bag to go with my Louis boots and my Louis backpack. I'm like, where are your priorities? Like, I don't even know you. You didn't even say hi. You're just telling me about all your Louis stuff. That's so weird to me.
That's so like materialistic.
Yeah.
But that whole like content thing sounds like a mess. And they're literally in your room?
Yes.
What the hell?
Yes.
And there was did you say you packed your bags and left?
Yes. It was the last night of the Airbnb anyways, but that's when I went with my roomies. I stayed with them and then we got really close. One girl, she wasn't even supposed to be at the Airbnb, but she ended up being there all week. This is when I learned that like influencers really take numbers literally, and I don't understand why. She comes in, I look at her, and I'm like, hey, your content's really cool. You should show me how to do it and we can collab. Mind you, her content is very easy. Like, we could all do it. I was just being nice. This girl looked me up and down, like straight up, like paused, looked me up and down, and goes, maybe later. And then I come to find out she was asking other people, like, they were like, hey, do you want to collab? And she's like, well, how many followers do you have? Why does it matter? We're all here for the same reason.
She actually said that?
And then, huh?
She actually said that?
Yes. And the craziest part is I'm triple her size too. And I'm like, how are you? Like, you don't even know who you're talking to half the time. And now, like, that's one specific person. If anybody brings her up, I'm like, nope, you do not want to work with her. And you just don't want to have, like, burnt bridges like that.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that stuff is...
Guess I'm not moving to LA then.
No, that stuff is real. Like, people really go way too into it and just, like get the fuck out, honestly.
Honestly.
They get too caught up in the
I'm
numbers.
very observant. I'm so observant. Like, I will peep anything. I can feel any type of vibe. And if I don't like it, like, I'm not going to fake that I like you. Like, you just won't ever hear from me again. Straight up.
I even remember, like, because Devin and I were talking, I don't know, we were talking when you guys had that content house, and he even said that they were like treating you like shit or something. So
yeah, it was so bad. Yeah. And then like they made a fake content house and they're like, we're just gonna do it to cloud it up. Like, why is everything for clout? Like, be authentic. And I think I've proven that, because since we've left, like, I look at everyone else, they've stayed the same and I've doubled. Like, be true to yourself, be authentic. You don't need to lie to get clout. Like, I feel like I was actually in a Clubhouse room and it was a bunch of like older people and they were just discussing how people will do anything for clout. They'll start fake drama and all this. And I'm like, why do you want to be known for that?
Yeah. It's so much easier too when you're just known for yourself and not somebody who you aren't. But yeah, I think that's a juicy note to end off on. Maybe we'll have you back for like a part 2.
Sounds good. I would love that.
Yeah, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button for a part 2.
Subscribe.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Michaela. We just really appreciate it, and this was fun.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.